Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. As you can see, I've got Adobe Lightroom open and I'm going to show you guys how I edit my figure photography. I usually start this process by cropping the image, usually to 4:5 as you can see. It used to be 9:16, but 4:5 is now the preferred Instagram size. And then the second thing that I like to do after I've loaded up Lightroom and cropped the image is to use the generative remove tool just to clean up some of the messier parts of the frame. So as you can see, it's things like wrist pegs and things like fluff on outfits and maybe bits of the outfit that didn't quite sit up right or kind of stuck out more than they should have. As you can see, there's like a little bit of his tactical vest behind his neck that's sticking out, so we will go in and get rid of that now. But yeah, this is just like something I do that's like that extra detail. I know some people might feel like it's a bit misleading to eliminate wrist pegs and stuff, but I spend so much time lighting and shooting my shots that I want to make sure everything's perfect. Once that's done, the next thing that I like to have a look at is the light settings. So this controls things like contrast, highlights, exposure, etc. And I tend not to do that much here really. I think the more you have to do here, it's usually because you photograph something badly. So this is kind of minor touches to maybe crush the blacks a bit or slightly flatten a highlight. I usually shoot on auto white balance, so minor adjustments here and there. I usually boost the vibrance a little bit and the saturation, but of course, depending on what look you want to go for, you might want to do the opposite. This effects tool tends to be where the interesting stuff starts to happen, so you can control things like haze, clarity, and texture. These are worth experimenting around with, especially if you want to kind of get that comic book textured paper look. Usually either add like a +5 or -5 vignette depending on the mood. The image, you can get some really cool stylistic looks. I would also usually always add a little bit of denoise, so the stronger it is, the more artifacts you kind of get weirdness around like facial expressions and stuff. So I usually apply the 50 setting, which is the default, and then take it down to about 35. And then to compensate some of the sharpness that you may lose from denoising, I up the sharpness and detail. So besides the really powerful built-in denoise effect Lightroom has, one of the other great benefits is the auto mask feature. So as you can see, you click on the mask tab and it really does isolate every single individual part of the figure or person in your shot. This Punisher figure has a couple of issues with slightly mismatched paint, so what I'm going to go in and do here is make sure the skin tone of the head sculpt matches the skin tone of the arms. Once I'm happy with that, I then click back into the main tab and just make any final adjustments really. And yeah, if you've shot a series of images under the same lighting conditions and exposure settings on your camera, the most incredible thing about Lightroom is you can literally copy and paste the exact edits you've done on one picture to all the pictures. So as you can see now, I'm just going through and copying and pasting, and then we will start the same process of fine-tuning. So yeah, the only thing you won't be able to copy and paste on Lightroom is the masks and the AI removal, so that's what I'm going to go through and do on these two images now. It's just a case of, again, removing any imperfections like wrist pegs and bits of the outfit that I don't like the look of. And yeah, it's just a really great tool really. And yeah, as you can see in this shot, I even use it to extend the background, so the background was slightly too small for the framing that I wanted, but it's not a problem. You can extend it and, you know, Bob's your uncle. Looks absolutely brilliant. And yeah, again, what I'm going to go in and do with these now is just the masking of the skin tone, etc. This image seemed a little bit brighter than the other, so I did drop the exposure as well, but yeah, very minor things as I say. So yeah, we're going to do that on that one, and then we're going to go in here and we're going to do the same and apply the same settings using the mask tool, again fluctuating with the background exposure slightly just so they all match. And then the final thing I'm going to do with these images is actually up the brightness of the Punisher logo on his vest. This figure doesn't have quite as bright a logo as the official Hot Toys release, so what I'm going to do is go in with a masking brush and just up the exposure slightly, up the whites and up the saturation so the bloodstains on it really stand out. I think I even tweaked the white balance slightly so it's a bit more warm and less cool and blue. But yeah, again, not a 100% necessary touch, this is just something that I like to do. I'm obsessed with details, but as you can see, these are the three final images. I am very happy with them. One of them I actually posted in a collaboration with a fellow figure photographer called Big J's Collection, and the other two I'm going to be posting on my Instagram after this video goes live, so exciting times. Thanks again for your support, thanks for watching, hopefully you learned something from this. Any questions, ask away in the comments, and yeah, see you in the next one.